Yahuah said, who is this? These people that keep coming with their opposition and different things like that. Yeah, you can play Christian music, but that doesn't make the difference. These people who are still doing witchcraft, I have always had the peace of Elohim despite your witchcraft. I have always had contentment in Elohim despite your witchcraft. I have always had rest in Elohim despite your witchcraft. And I heard someone say, finally somebody that can handle her. Yahuah has revealed their witchcraft that still goes on, in which they are trying to control other people, trying to control somebody's moves and decisions and words. You literally trying to control my words, trying to have a control over the mind in any kind of way. Like, you're not Elohim. And even if I am contending, and even when I have fought, and when I have argued, and when I have been angry, had righteous right ruling, or righteous wrath, like the Father, Elohim is peace. And even in his Ruach is peace, and even in authority, and even in assertiveness, there is peace, and there has never been peace. And even if I raise my voice, that doesn't mean I'm without peace. That doesn't mean I'm without contentment. That doesn't mean I'm without the power and the authority of Elohim. I'm not sedated by the witchcraft of mankind. I'm not under the spirit of slumber or the battles of the last days that we're in. I can be assertive and powerful in authority of Elohim because he's my strength. And that does not mean that I don't have peace. Elohim is peace, and he literally said, Moses, get out of the way. I'm going to destroy all of these people and start over with you. He actually started over with Noah and his family, 8 souls. Could you imagine Elohim destroying the whole earth today? Almost 9 billion people and only saving 8 out of 9 billion. I still have the peace of Elohim, even though I speak with authority, even though I assert myself, even though I project my voice. It does not mean I don't have peace. It doesn't mean I'm a beast or have the beast. It doesn't mean that the Ruach of Elohim or the wisdom of Elohim or the power of Elohim, the authority of Elohim is not with me. That's not what that means. As my Father is, so am I. And he is jealous for his own, but he also has wrath. And he's righteous, and even in his wrath, he is the Father of peace. The Prince of Peace, the Prince of Shalom, the Prince of Shalem. And he is sovereign. And all these people want to be afraid of a power and authority of the Creator. Well, it's kind of almost like, woe for you being afraid. You're supposed to have the fear of Elohim, the reverence of him, but not of man. Though I can speak like this, that doesn't mean I'm a beast. And if I can read a scripture and say the scriptures like this, being mild-toned does not mean peace. Just as the people who are lurking in the shadows, hiding, does not mean they have wisdom. The ones who are calling themselves the silent majority still does not mean that they're with Elohim. They're liars. Liars. Because they reject the word of Elohim. They reject that Elohim is truth. And I can say that, as is written in the scripture, with power and authority in my voice, and still be content and at peace and righteous and in right standing with Elohim. And no one but Elohim will determine who his child is in him, but him, who his daughter is, who his bride is, who his creation is, but him. Y'all can go around here being afraid of the wrong things, focused on the wrong things, lying on Elohim and hating Elohim, and lying like you're not attacking on the daily. There have been people that still have tried to attack on the daily. And you want to talk about, oh, it's me with the beast, or it's you, or you flip-flop, or look how calm you were in that one moment. And now you're projecting your voice, so you must have a beast. No. That's not what that is. Oh, your authority, so you must not have any peace. Talking like this does not mean that that's peace. Lurking in the shadows, hiding, being on the low, does not mean you are with Elohim. Because the children of the light come to the light, and they're not afraid for their works to be seen. Children of the light are not afraid of their works to be seen. Not afraid. We are not afraid of the wicked who still keep saying, you think you're going to test this community. You think you're going to do this and do that. You think you're going to come against me or my family, lying on the word of Elohim, when we literally, just as well as I can pull out Psalm 1 and read it to you, I can pull out identity. I can pull out blood. I can pull out record of blood. I could pull out record of marriage. I could pull out record of the word of Elohim. I could pull out record of what the names mean. I could pull out record of birth. I could pull out record account of Elohim's ketubas, blood, family, righteousness, everything that has come from Elohim. I could pull out written, consented record between Elohim, his males and his females. Just as well as Elohim can do that. Just as well as Elohim has done that. I can pull it out. But do we need to do that here on this channel? No. Do the people in this community need to keep lying about the true word of Elohim, that Psalm 1 is Psalm 1? They're saying Psalm 1 doesn't exist. I'm paraphrasing. That's kind of like what they're doing. Elohim doesn't exist. Okay, well then, don't call yourself a Christian. Don't call yourself a believer. Don't call yourself whatever religion you are. Whatever it is. Don't say that then. Oh, because I'm talking like this when I read the scripture. Oh, I have peace. But when I'm saying this, I don't have peace because I'm with power and authority, or a tone that you don't like. No. Every day, Elohim is good. Every day, I appreciate him. And it's not because of other people doing witchcraft or not doing witchcraft. It's not because other people out here lying and saying they got some kind of control over me that they don't. It's not, or vice versa. It's not because somebody claiming truth when I got records of it or not. It's not because somebody is agreeing with Elohim or not. My life is not dependent upon mankind being the creator, being the author, being the father, being the good, being the teacher, being the ancient of days, being the righteous one. being the one who never lies, being the one who never changes, being the one who is right ruling, being the one who is peace. If life was dependent upon any of you or any of mankind, as Revelation says, none were worthy. So he sent himself, his own right arm. And he is the one that I love and his children love. And we will not say that we hate him and disagree with his word. For those who are out there and want to try to hide, still in the shadows, never coming to the light, never being bold, never addressing something face to face, being a coward, and lying with a bunch of lying people about the word of Elohim. The things that Elohim wrote in the Shemaim. The things that men and women wrote on paper and then would try to lie about it. Elohim does not lie. If he says man, woman, husband, wife, then it is. If you don't agree with it, then you're just saying you don't believe Elohim. In other words, it's almost like trying to call him a liar. But those who believe Elohim and love him, no, he cannot lie. He cannot lie. Elohim cannot lie. For those who know him and love him, they know that that is the truth. So we who love him will follow his command and walk in his truth. He will walk in his truth. And the other thing of people getting upset, that one moment I could be yelling, and the next moment I could talk like this about the scripture. One day I could be contending against adversity, but still that entire day have the peace of Elohim. Each and every day that the opposition, whether in this community or in a market or in politics, in economy, in churches, in faith groups, in faith communities, whatever it is, no matter what tries to say the word of Elohim isn't true, even in moments of contending, the word says Elohim strives with those who strive with him. And like my Father, there are times when I strive with those who strive with him. But that does not negate the peace of Elohim. People want a message and want a word, and they want to cheat on Elohim. They cheat their way into relationship with Elohim without doing what is required. Without the foundation, without honoring him, without being loyal to him, without being committed and all in with him. Like I made that kind of agreement with my spouse and I. But like seeing that to Elohim and then going back on it. Going back on what you said to Elohim. Going back on what you said to Elohim. So when you never make an agreement to be on a team with people and people harass you about being on a team with them that you never agreed to, Elohim is witness against their wickedness against you. And when people are like, you come against their team because they're idolizing that over the honor and love of Elohim, Elohim is witness against that. And when Elohim is present in this moment, he's witness of all things. All things. And when other people want to provoke you to anger repeatedly, that innocent blood, that anger, those things. The sin of it is on their hands. The sin of them provoking you to anger intentionally. Elohim is witness against that. He witnesses of it. He witnesses of it. He witnesses of it. And when you keep your vows and your oaths to Yahuah, because Messiah said that, I have a marriage vow, an oath to Yahuah, between Yahuah, myself, and my spouse. And Elohim, Messiah, the word, literally Messiah, literally says in the scripture. And the word literally says in the scripture, keep your oaths and your vows to Yahuah. Keep your oaths and your vows to Yahuah. Anyone who would try to get me to, which has been a battle. I don't know why there are people who are so obsessed with it. So obsessed with trying to get me to deny the oath of Yahuah. So obsessed with trying to get me to deny literally what scripture says. Literally what Messiah said about marriage, about oaths, about keeping your vows, your oaths, your covenants to Yahuah. There are literally people who have tried daily in these past 2 years especially, to get me to deny the oaths of Yahuah, the covenants of Yahuah. And I won't. He doesn't give that name of being of an oath for no reason. But I won't. I said, why are those people, I asked someone, why are those people so obsessed with trying to get me to come into agreement with a lie? Their lie. Their life lie that oaths and covenants in Yahuah don't exist. And that even more particular oaths and covenants in Yahuah don't exist. Why are they so adamant? Why would it be a multitude of people so adamant of trying to come against that? I said, is it their guilt? Is it because then it would prove that, because then they have to guess if it's a pastor, whether they whether or not they initiated marriages that are not of the Ruach, that aren't real marriages? I said, is it because then they feel guilty about going against Elohim? Is it because then they have to question whether or not they've been a good steward to him, or whether he is displeased? Whether they are actually sinning? Someone said to me, you know what? They said, actually like a half an hour ago, someone was like, they said they didn't want to die. They've been pressuring, one person admitted to me they were pressuring me and all of that, trying to get me to agree to their lie because they themselves don't want to die. They don't want what I was saying to be true, is what they told me. This is what they told me. This one person in particular. I don't want you to, they didn't want what I was saying to be true because they don't want to die. They don't want to die. They don't want to die. Of course, you get other people who are going to accuse you of lying, but the scripture says what the scripture says. One person who was doing all of that, a part of people that were doing things behind the scenes that shouldn't be done, hidden evil works. One thing that other adult said wasn't a lie when they said the truth is truth, and it is the truth. So there's times where I don't even argue with people over it because it's truth. Truth is truth. The word says Elohim is truth. If you're a person that believes the word, then you will believe Elohim is truth. That's the standard of truth. That's it. Anyway, all of that other stuff is not imperative. I said, Yahuah, I don't know why think, I don't know why some people think they're getting over on Elohim, but they're like, you're getting over on him. No, you really think. Anyway, the actions that we do is really, if Elohim is testing to see whether or not people will walk in his way, then the test is whether or not we are, any one of us, is in agreement with Elohim, walking with Elohim, abiding in him, trusting him, and whatever else. Or the opposite. Are you disagreeing with Elohim? It's like the test is, are you agreeing with Elohim or disagreeing with Elohim? Are you agreeing with the adversary or disagreeing with the adversary? That's all. Thank you, Yahuah. Because you are the Father who has jealousy. He is jealous. He is jealous for his own. He is the Father who hates evil. He is a Father who has wrath. He is a Father that gets vengeance. Oh, we talked about that earlier, about somebody constantly focusing on the wrong thing because they are so focused on getting vengeance that they're not even living in living in Elohim is life. Living in Elohim is peace. Living in Elohim is good. Living in Elohim is truth. Like living in Elohim is freedom. They're not even living, and I mean a context of living as in Elohim is life. Anyway, so I'm just like, we had a conversation about that earlier. And I don't know. No, I do know. But why? I was like, I'm not that important to anything regarding a specific person that they would need to be obsessed and fanatic. Let alone fanatic about trying to get me to agree with their language, their thought, their opinion, whatever. And I'm not going to do that. That's why you would always hear me say over and over, I'm not dragging people. I'm not literally taking my hand and putting it over people's heads and pulling them along. And I don't know why other people would be obsessed with doing that. Nonetheless, I thank you, Yahuah, that you are truth. Your essence, your presence is truth. Your wrath, kindness, gentleness, every part of you. You are whole. You're not in portions. You are whole. Whole. Thank you, Abba. Love you much. And peace to the brethren. Abba be with you and keep you. Be gracious to you. Make his face to shine upon you and give you peace. And Abba, let your desires be done. You said do good. And if possible, be at peace with all men, if possible. But you said especially do good to those who are of the household of belief. So Father, do especially good to those who love you. Those who love you. Shalom.